It's Casual, and this is Guns Up Mobile. Let's talk about Rangers. Rangers are very popular right now. They're in all the events. They're an epic unit. They're good, I guess, in early rounds, and they're something that you unlock pretty early on in the game. Let's see if we can get some Rangers and show you what they do. Now, I'm not a big fan of Rangers. Let's put it out there. I want to like them. I really do want to like them. They have a pretty cool kit. You think they're going to do something. Here's some Rangers right now. They summon them. They came out. They're just going to walk around. They're going to throw some grenades. Boom. Now all the events right now they're circled. They're centered around explosive damage, doing damage, explosive damage, getting kills with explosive damage. And Rangers are a big part of that. You get a lot of Ranger rewards. You get a lot of tokens for them. What do? They throw grenades. They shoot and they throw grenades. And in Prison Break, they're a very popular unit because here they come out of these buildings. They do some damage. They have some hit points. They throw grenades. Yep. That's what they do. I'm going to finish this up and give you a demonstration of their stats and talk about them a little bit more. I guess they did something, could have done better, could have done just as well without them, I think. But let's get into the meat of it and why I'm not a big fan of the Rangers. Come on, get in. As I said, the Rangers, they're an epic unit. They're part of the Spartan group. They're right next to the Mercenaries. And the thing that's interesting about that is they're kind of compared to the Mercenaries a little bit. They get summoned in twos. They do ballistic damage. They throw things. Right? The Ranger throws a grenade. The Mercenary throws a Molotov cocktail. That's where a lot of the similarities come. But you can see here, this Ranger is level 20. He has level 10 vest on, and he has almost as many, or about the same as many hit points as this Mercenary without a vest at level 20. So there's that. With their skills, Rangers will cost less to summon. They do less damage, but they fire a little bit faster. So let's break it down. The Ranger throws a grenade. It has a radius of 3. That's the impact radius. The damage is pretty high. It's 3,000 points of damage, and the cooldown is about 10 seconds. Now, the Mercenary is generally considered a DPS loss for him to throw his Molotov cocktail. You can see here it does 41 damage per second. It's pretty ridiculous considering the Mercenary does something like 1,500 damage per second. For him to stop and to throw a Molotov cocktail is pretty silly. So let's take a look at this Ranger here. Let's look at their skills. The first skill is target practice. Makes them more accurate by 35%. Considering they're already pretty accurate, I think their starting accuracy is 80%. You max it out. His current accuracy is, 95%. Yeah. Cheap labor, reduced deployment cost by up to 30%, which is fantastic because they start off at 250 energy and plus the Spartan cost reduction, and then there's cheap labor. You can get them down to about 175. Fantastic. That's actually one of the things that makes them kind of useful. Grenade Juggler reduced the grenade recharge time by pretty high. I mean, you could get it pretty high here. For the next grenade, each time the Ranger destroys a structure. And you can only trigger this once every 3 seconds, but that means the Ranger has to destroy the structure. And by golly, we're going to get to that. And a grenade belt. And they start off with 2 grenades, which is great because they could throw 2 grenades back to back. There is a bit of a, just like all the other throw units, there's a bit of a like a cooldown after they're summoned before they could throw their first one. but then they have 2. And then 10 seconds later, after the first one's thrown, it will recharge. Unless you have Grenade Juggler, which will get more, they'll recharge faster, which is great. They'll throw more grenades. Fantastic. Okay. Stats, they start off with 1,800, almost 1,900 hit points at level 20. They have 142 points of damage. And summon 2.22 shots per second, which is great. And a magazine of 17. And they also take about 1 second to recharge. That's pretty long considering the mercenary. I'm just going to compare the mercenary stats here. Mercenaries have a shorter cooldown. Their accuracy is kind of bad, but they have a longer range. With their skills, the mercenaries will reload their guns faster. And then the rest of the stuff here, it's a bit misleading. The ranger fires a semi-auto, so it's got a fire rate of 2.2 seconds, whereas the mercenary fires 3-round bursts. And yes, they have magazine size of 12, but it's a 3-round burst, so it's really every 1.19 seconds they will fire 3 rounds, and that means they really effectively have 4 bursts before they have to reload. So they get their damage out pretty quickly, much faster than this fire rate would suggest. Okay. But let's just finish off here. Their rangers have a range of 19, which is very, very short. I mean, we're talking about like assault range. They are strong against blunt resistance and weak against fire. Fire's kind of scary. Being weak against fire resistance is very scary because you have incendiary rounds all over the place, and you have flamers. Considering that flamers actually have longer range than rangers, this is very frightening. And bombardiers usually don't make it on defense, but yeah, just the fact that you have mercenaries with incendiary rounds and flamers on defense potentially is very, very scary for the rangers because they have only 19 range. Only. And they have very, very few hit points. You have to use, you almost have to give them some kind of survivability in order to make them viable. But they're not weak to pierce, which I guess is good, because mercenaries are weak to pierce, and mercenaries are weak to explosive damage, which the rangers are not. So again, very good, but they have to get up close, and that means they end up taking more shots. So they're very close to the front line. Rangers don't have masteries yet, but considering how hard they're being pushed right now, it seems like a pretty good chance they're going to get them in the next battle pass. So I think we've actually talked about everything here. So yeah, let's get into a battle here. Get into some kind of raid. Maybe we'll get some kind of good matchup. That's scary, but yeah, we'll see what they do. They'll replace those guys. Where are my rangers? There we go. And yeah, let's kick it. I've been trying to do this explosive event. It's hard to find good opponents to get kills on. And we're gonna see we're gonna see sharpshooters. So this is gonna be a pretty scary situation for our rangers. Yeah. Get some barrels, get some explosives. Fine. They're gonna walk over this. Some of them are gonna die. It's okay. I'm just gonna throw. See, you would think that rangers are a good a good match for being teamed up with colonels, because colonels essentially affect focus fire, and you'd think that that'd be good. The colonels would make the Rangers throw their grenades, but Rangers don't throw their grenades at units, they only throw their grenades at buildings. And so you have to use focus fire manually if you want them to throw their grenades at units. If we can actually see them throwing their grenades. We have any left? Yeah, there we go. There's one. Okay. I guess that got something. Yeah, I'm really not big on these guys. They're, as far as I'm concerned, they're a bit of a disappointment. You know, I've got Rocketeers in this team. I have Javeliners. I could have Grenadiers on these teams. I have missed. I have rockets I could use. You know, I've got all these Rangers on my team right now, and I'm not seeing a lot of grenades flying. In fact, there's a grenade right after the rocket. And okay, let's destroy this this tent. Oh, here come all these rockets, and there come all the grenades. So this is my main complaint, really, about the Rangers. They could be good, but the building's dead before the grenade gets there. That's, you know, there's more grenades. The grenades never land. This is the biggest problem for Rangers, is they have to get very close up in range. They throw their grenades, but by the time they throw their grenades, the Rocketeers have blown it up. If you don't have Rocketeers, what do you have? You have, you know, snipers, and they'll probably do some damage. You have any kind of other damage unit. You have mercenaries, they'll do it. You have MGs, they're better at it. You have commandos, they're better at it. You have bombardiers, they're better at it. Hell, you have engineers, they're better at it. So why bring the Rangers? I really don't understand. You know, in terms of cost, sure, the Rangers actually cost-wise are relatively comparable to they're relatively comparable to mercenaries, because mercenaries cost 25 and Rangers cost 175. So they cost less. Their DPS is roughly half of what a mercenary's DPS is, which doesn't really sound very good. But if you consider that, you know, you're paying less for them, and the Rangers have something that the mercenaries don't. The Rangers can the Rangers can throw grenades, and grenades do a lot of damage. So, you know, this is it's a very big bonus for because, again, the mercenaries, they're notorious for having these Molotov cocktails that don't really do anything. They don't do damage, but the grenades, they do a lot of damage. Supposedly, they do a lot of damage. So you think it's going to offset the fact that they don't do a lot of damage with their guns. You think, oh yeah, I'm going to have grenades. I'm going to throw grenades. It's going to be great. Okay, a bunker. Let's just watch them. Okay, the rockets are killing everything. Where are the Rangers? What are the Rangers? Who's going to kill the commando? It's going to be the rocket. Who's going to kill these? You know, okay, maybe maybe the Rangers shot those guys, but anything else could have done it too. The once the Rocketeer effectively procs the bounty hunter's fourth skill, anything can take them out. They only have the one hit point. So okay, here's a tent. Let's go, Rangers. Take out the tent. Come on, take it out. Throw the grenade. Nope. Shot some guns at it. They're right there. They're in range, but they're not throwing their grenades. They're just standing there firing their guns. And one of the things that I think is going on here is these these Rangers, because they do so much damage with a grenade, and because they can effectively throw the grenade very often, the grenades are, well, first of all, they're slow, and they're slower than everything else. Bombardiers will fire faster than the actual projectiles will fly faster. Anything flies faster than the grenades. They're very slow, so everything's going to get there first and kill your target before the grenades do. So because it does so much damage, it's tied to the range of the Ranger. And that's why the Ranger has only a 19 attack range. We don't want them throwing, well, the game doesn't want them throwing their grenades at range like 23, because that's a lot of damage at a very, very long range. That would actually be longer range than the Rocketeers. So you have this very short range. And what that means is they get in close range and they get killed. That's pretty much what it means. Or they start, they'll get into a firefight. Now, I'm up against some pretty weak opponents here. Again, I've been dropping my attack rating because I wanted to. But a good opponent will set up some traps. I'm not seeing any flamers here. I'm not seeing any chemists here. They have to walk into the range of these things, and they're going to get erased. And then you want them to throw their grenades. Now, if you want to counter, so it seems like if you want to counteract this grenade stuff that they do, you want to reduce the range of the grenades. Maybe you want to increase the range of the Rangers, like just make them shoot further. But if you do that, they'll always be shooting, and they'll never get in range of the grenades. They'll never actually throw the grenades. So the only thing you could really do is reduce their range even more. Not the grenade range, but the shooting range. So put them in some kind of range where, like a bounty hunter, you put them in a range where they're at shotgun range or something like that. And then their grenades would have a longer range than their guns. If that's possible, I think that's pretty much the only way to make them viable in terms of a grenade thrower. If that's your intention, I think that's the way to go to make them throw the grenades. I'm not seeing them throw grenades. I want them to. Okay, they threw a grenade. I don't even know what they threw the grenade at. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea. Where are they throwing the grenades at? Okay, let's throw the grenades at, I don't know, there. Can we throw some grenades? Yeah, I got those grenades. They actually hit the mercenaries, which is great. Yeah, they actually, if you focus fire the Rangers, they will throw the grenades at units. But they won't do it on their own, not at units. And that's probably intentional. I assume it's intentional. Okay, fine, they took out that AA gun. I didn't really need them to, because I wasn't planning on, I didn't care. That's not an AA gun I wanted to take out. I do want them to take out this mortar, though. And who's going to take a mortar out? The Rocketeers. There's no reason to have them. You don't get the Rangers any sooner than the Rocketeers, effectively. You might as well just use the Rocketeers. And with Sergeants, the Rocketeers they're far and beyond better than the Rangers. It doesn't really matter. Even without the Sergeants, the Rocketeers are better than the Rangers. The damage they're doing is okay, but, why don't I just get an MG? Why don't I just put them on there? Why don't I just bring a commando? Why do I need that? Why would I want to... Why don't I just shoot a rocket? It doesn't make any sense. They just don't work. They need to have a shorter gun range than they have grenade range, so it forces them to throw their grenades at buildings sooner or more often. They need to have a priority. Whenever the grenade comes off cooldown, they need to throw it just so that they get their damage out. Because their guns aren't doing it. They're half the damage that a mercenary is. So if you have 10 rangers on the field, that's effectively 5 mercenaries. And mercenaries do tons of damage, but 5 isn't what you want. When you have mercenaries, you want like 20 of them on the field. When your unit cap is like 32, you want like 20 of them on the field, and then they're just going to plow through everything. You have MGs. One MG is going to do like 5 times more damage than a ranger. And he costs about as much as 4 rangers. So there you go. Just get an MG and he'll just do more damage. Why suffer with not even like with a discount. He's costing me 202. He's going to do more damage. He's going to do at least 5 times more damage than this ranger is going to do. So he needs more health. He needs shorter range. Put him up there. Make him like he's kind of like a Trailblazer unit, where the Trailblazer is supposed to be in the front lines. He's supposed to take out traps. It's kind of like a ranger. He's supposed to be in the front line. He's supposed to throw grenades. He's supposed to clear out bunkers. That's what he's supposed to be doing. But it doesn't really work. He doesn't throw the grenades. He doesn't throw the grenades when he needs to be throwing them. He doesn't throw the grenades, and then when he does, the grenades don't get there before something else destroys them. Anything you pair these guys up with, unless they're your main damage dealer, is going to destroy. Is going to do their job better and faster, and from a longer range. And if these are your main damage dealer, why are you doing this to yourself? They don't really do damage. You're relying on, at that point, focus fire. You using focus fire to force them to throw grenades, and then you have to also count and make sure that you're waiting the appropriate amount of time before you use focus fire, so that they can, there's enough time for their grenade respawn time to go through. So just use a Rocketeer. Problem solved. Just use one of those. I don't think Bombardiers are. I don't think Grenadiers are very good. They're just kind of. They're lousy. They're lousy. Bombardiers are fantastic. Tons of damage. Long range, tons of damage, very cheap. What are your alternatives? Well, your Bombardier has more health and is going to fire faster. It's going to do more damage. So, why the Ranger? The Rocketeer is kind of slow, but he's got skills that make him fire faster at buildings. So, you use him. The MG, tons and tons of damage, fast fire rate. Same with the Commando, very, very good unit. Why? It's not like the Rangers are going to throw the grenades over a wall. They're going to have to break the wall down first. And you're better off doing that with Commandos or MGs, because you just target behind the building and just plow everything down in their way. Like, that's actually a plan. Or a Rocketeer, you just have a Rocketeer fire at stuff, and the sheer inaccuracy of it and the splash damage is just going to destroy whatever it is that's in front of it, surrounding it. It's just going to level everything. Just use them. Shock troopers are not good on offense. They don't really work. They're good on defense. They actually work on defense, just not on offense. You need them. You need critical mass of them. And snipers, they don't really they don't do well against buildings, so they're not a replacement. But you got javeliners. If you have javeliners, why not? What is this big thing with the ranger? They don't do anything. They don't replace the MG. They don't replace the Rocketeer. And by the time that pretty much by the time you unlock them, you'll probably have a Merc, or you'll probably have the Commando, and you're just, again, better off using those for whatever it is purpose that you're using your Ranger at. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Take care.